Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to continue with Mulk Anand's novella Untouchable. Right? We've already covered some portion of it from the beginning. Okay? And for your seniors, I covered a bit more. Right? So I'll send those recordings to you as soon as possible. Right? Now, here, today, we are on page 19 of the textbook, right? Page 19 of the textbook. And in this part of the novella, what is the situation, right? The situation is that Baka, that is the main character in the story, he has just finished his day's work, right? He's just finished toiling. Toiling means undergoing back-breaking labor in the hot sun, right? We just finished toiling in the hot sun. He has been cleaning the latrines, sweeping the he has been cleaning the latrines and feeding the furnace of that area, right? Now it's afternoon, around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and he's been working very hard in the hot sun and he's feeling thirsty, right? He's completed his day's work, right? So he decides to return to his one-room house, right? Decides to return for a glass of water. He's feeling extremely thirsty, so he decides to return for a glass of water, right? When he gets home, he sees that his sister Sohini is there, right? She is there, and she's trying to light a fire to cook something, right? And we're given a description of this stove. What is the stove made up of? Right? It's made up of two bricks placed next to each other, under which you put a little dry straw or something like pieces of wood, and you light the fire. Okay? So she's trying to light a fire. So Baka helps her, start the fire and everything. Then he asks her for some water, right? There's a little earthen pot, there's a clay pot in the corner. So she tells him, right? We'll continue from where we stopped. She tells him there is no water in that earthen pot. And he says, I will get some water from the pitcher, right? He said, as he casually made towards the corner. The pitcher, that is like a bucket, only it's made of clay, right? It's standing in the corner. He goes casually towards the corner. There is no water in the pitcher either, she answered. There's no water at home. There's not a drop of water. So why isn't there any water at home? Remember, they are untouchables, right? They are untouchables, and they were denied water by the upper caste, right? The upper caste did not give them water very easily, right? Water was a source of conflict. Many struggles, much bloodshed took place over the issue of water between the lower caste and the upper caste in those times, right? So right now in their room, or you can say house, one room house, there is not a single drop of water, right? There is no water in the pitcher either. Oh, he exclaimed under his breath. Right? So he says softly, oh, he's surprised and shocked. Right? Because what is he feeling? He's thirsty, you can't resist, you can't do anything, you have to drink water. Right? So he exclaimed under his breath, tired and exasperated. How is he feeling? Exasperated. All this work and not even a drop of water, he's feeling exasperated. Right? And for a moment he stood defeated, where he had bent down to the pitcher. So he had bent down to touch the pitcher. He stood defeated. He lost this. He becomes, his body becomes, when it gives up, feels discouraged, right? So he stood defeated where he had bent down to the pitcher, right? So he loses all strength, right? I shall go and get some water, said Sohini meekly, right? So his sister, ever obliging, says she will go to the well. That's where the outcast got the water from. She says, you go to the well. She answers meekly, right? All right, admit Baka without any show of formality. So, just agrees. All right, he says, without any formality. And going out the door, sat down on the edge of a broken cane chair. The only article of furniture of European design which he had been able to acquire in pursuance of his ambition to live like an Englishman. Right? So Baka has one desire, one continuing desire in his life, that is to live like an Englishman. So we already saw that he had got white, army tunics, a solar topi, and such things, right? He had got the clothes of the British soldiers. And another thing he had got was a cane chair, cane furniture, right? So the British used cane furniture, and somehow, somewhere in some second-hand shop, okay, he got a cane chair, which is placed outside that one room. He went there and sat on the edge, okay? So he picked up the pitcher, placed it easily on top of her head, and ran past her brother. So she picks up, maybe it's a clay pot, right? She places it on her head, right, and runs past her brother. Now, how a round base can be adjusted on a round top, how a sphere can rest on a sphere, is a problem which may be of interest to those who think like Euclid or Archimedes. See, what is the shape of Sohini's head? It is round. What is the shape of the bottom of the picture? It is round. How a round, sphere can rest on another sphere? How a round shape can rest on another round shape? It may be a problem of interest to those who are interested in Euclid or Archimedes. Euclid and Archimedes were great Greek mathematicians, and they studied the properties of objects like, spheres. How a sphere can rest on a sphere. It's very difficult, isn't it, to make a sphere rest on a sphere. So, now Sohini is balancing the earthen pitcher on her head without holding it, nothing. She's going like this, right? She's going like this with the pitcher on top, right? It never occurred to Sohini to ask herself anything like this. Sohini didn't bother, so she didn't think what was the circumference, what is the radius, what is the tangent, properties of spheres, circles, right? So she didn't occur to Sohini to ask herself anything like this. As she balanced her pitcher on her head and went to and from her one-room house home to the steps of the cast well, where she counted on the chance of some gentleman taking pity on her and giving her the water she needed. Now, she counted, she depended on one chance. That is, some upper caste person would come to that well. The upper caste person would draw the water from the well, right? And by chance he may give her some. She counted on that, she depended on that. Because these outcasts, these lower castes, they were not allowed to draw water. They were not allowed to touch the water of the well, not even touch. They were not allowed to bathe in the rivers, ponds, lakes, and places like that. They were denied water. All sources of water were off limits to them. Right? So she depended on the chance of some upper caste gentleman taking pity on her and giving her the water she needed. But, she had a sylph-like form. Sylph is like a nymph. What we say in Kannada, apsara. She had a sylph-like form, not thin, but firm or full body. Full body, that is the hips, Everything was full body. Within the limits of a graceful frame. She walked very gracefully. She had a very graceful frame, well rounded on the hips, with an arched, narrow waist. The waist was narrow, the hips were broad, which descended the folds of her trousers, and above which were her full, round, globular breasts. Right? So, her breasts were like those, right? And her hips were broad, the waist was narrow, okay? So, jerkings like this, that's how she walked, jerking, like not exactly gliding along, jerking, right? Some jerking along slightly for lack of her bodies. Did not have a bra, so, under her transparent muslin shirt. Muslin is a type of material. It's a very thin material. So she had a transparent muslin shirt without, any undergarment. And as she walked, right? Baka observed her as she walked along swaying, right? So he observes her. He just, he looks at her as she walked along swaying. Swaying means from moving from side to the hips move from one side to the other. She was beautiful. She was proud of her with a pride not altogether that of a brother or a sister. Now, we're told that Baka, without realizing, without doing anything about it, he felt, something for Shoni. It's not altogether the affection or love of a brother or a sister. Right? But he was proud of her nevertheless. The outcasts were not allowed to mount the platform surrounding the well. So she comes to the well, or the well is here, there is a platform. The outcasts were not supposed to climb the steps onto the platform to draw the water from the well. Because if they were ever to draw water from it, the Hindus of the three upper castes would consider the water polluted. Right? And if an outcast by chance at 3 a.m. in the morning he drew water and the upper caste Hindus found out about it, not only would he be punished severely, right? All sorts of punishments would be given to that lower caste, outcast who drew the water. But at the same time, there are to perform many rituals. That hours together they are to purify the water of the well. Because once an outcast touches the water of the well, the whole well becomes polluted. Right? Nor were they allowed access to the nearby brook. Brook is a small stream. They were not allowed access to the nearby brook, as their use of it would contaminate the stream. Contaminate means make it impure. They had no well of their own because it cost at least 1,000 rupees to dig a well in such a hilly town as Bhubaneswar. Now, it costs 1,000 rupees to dig a well in those days. 1,000 rupees may not seem a lot like today, right? But in those days, you imagine in those days, like a lakh, 2 lakhs like that, right? It costs so much money to dig a well in the hilly town of Bhubaneswar. Right? So there are stones. Hilly town of Bulandshahr. Now that's the name you must remember. Bulandshahr. Okay, you can use it in your answers. Right? Perforce, they had to collect at the foot of the caste Hindus' well and depend on the bounty of some of their superiors to pour water into them. So what did they have to do? They had to depend on the bounty. Bounty is beneficent. Oh, you can have the water. Okay? That attitude. They depended on the bounty of their superiors, upper caste, okay, for the water. More often than not, there was no caste Hindu present. More often, if they go at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe they'll have to wait till 6 o'clock in the evening for some caste Hindu, upper caste Hindu to come and draw the water. More often than not, many times, there would be no upper caste Hindu present to draw the water. Right? They were all rich enough to get the water carriers to supply them with plenty of fresh water every morning. So all the upper caste Hindus, they had money, and they paid the water carriers to get whatever water they need. So they hardly ever came to the well. It's a very rare thing for an upper caste Hindu to come to the well to draw water. The water carriers, those who drew the water, supplied them with all the water, and the water carriers got paid. Right? Okay. To supply them with plenty of water every morning for their baths, even for their baths. Imagine, right? Means how much water. Whereas these people, they're not given any water, but they had plenty of water, right? They bathe maybe twice a day, right? These people did not have hardly any drop, not even a drop to drink, right? Get the water, supply them with plenty of fresh water every morning for their baths and kitchens also. And only those who came to the well were either fond of an open air bath or too poor to pay for a water carrier service. Those who came rarely to the well, there were two people like that. One is those who are fond of an open air bath. In the air, they have a bath, open air bath. Or the second type of person who came to the well was those upper caste Hindus who were too poor to pay for the water carrier services. Okay? So we just finished this paragraph. Okay? So the outcasts had to wait for a chance to bring some caste Hindu to the well. They had to wait for a chance to bring some caste Hindu to the well for luck to decide that he was kind. And even then it would be a matter of luck. Chance would bring a caste Hindu to the well. Then they should have the good luck to see if he was kind enough to give them some water. For fate to ordain that he had time. Fate had to decide that he had the time to draw 3 pitchers of water to supply all the outcasts who were waiting at the well. Okay? If by chance he had some work, then they're unfortunate. Right? Because they have to wait for the next person. So 3 of these forces, just to get some water, they had to depend on the chance that some upper caste Hindu would come. They had to decide on lady luck to see if he was kind enough. Third major force that to depend on was fate, to see that he had time, right? Just to get some water. You see what the mindset of the people is. Nowadays, we're told, there's another point. It says, you can go to the shop and buy a bottle of Bisleri, but once this bottle of this water in the Bisleri bottle will cause bloodshed, blood flow like stream between the upper caste and the lower caste, right? But now this same water is a multi-billion-dollar market. Nowadays it's like that. You can buy a bottle of mineral water. But in those days, they had to decide on, supernatural forces. They had to decide on, chance, they had to decide on luck, and they had to decide on fate. Just to get some water to drink. So it's a contrast, right? So, to get the pitchers filled with water, they crowded around the well, congested the space below its height with flood. So once an upper caste came, they crowded, all of them crowded around the platform, right? Kind of congested, right? It's very like a big crowd, right? Morning, noon, and night, all times of day or night, they are joining the hand with surviving to every passerby, cursing their way. So any passerby, the way in the world, like Jesus, right? Holding the hands and surviving survival like a servant, right? Surviving dignity, right? So when to every passerby, anybody who passes this way or that way, they are at way, cursing the head and bemoaning their lot. Their lot in life, what they are being given in life. That is their lot in life. Not lot means a lot of things. Their lot, what they are forced to undergo. They are bemoaning. Moaning is a sound made by a person who is in pain. Bemoaning their lot. Inwardly they are mourning their situation in life. If they will refuse the help they wanted. So many times the people will just look at them, give them a strange look and pass on. And they will curse them. Right? Those lower caste and down caste curse them, right? Praying, beseeching and blessing. They would pray to the passersby. They would plead with the passersby, beseech. And they would bless. Sakar, funny. If some genders so condescended to listen to that, they bless the person who decided to help them. Condescended. Oh, so, okay? So, like, so stop, okay?